So this is a presentation I gave to a group of real estate agents that wanted to take control of their social media. Now, if you own a small business, this same rules that we talk about in this are going to apply to you. So take this, learn from this, and start leveling up your social media. Enjoy. On Wednesday, January 15th, 2020, we had 1 subscriber. That was our first ever video. That's when we launched the channel. As of this morning, we're at 30,100 subscribers. That took 4 years of posting a lot, consistently.
How much business have you gotten off that?
Enough. We have had 4 calls this week from somebody saying, hey, I saw Tip's YouTube video, ... I've had 6 website emails, same thing. I titled this one Social Media Made Simple for Realtors, because that's really the goal. You guys are not social media people. You shouldn't be like a social media manager or influencer. Your goal should be to be a realtor. So let's make it simple for you. So if you want to be an influencer, then this presentation's not for you. I'm sorry. You can head out. We don't want to be influencers from any of the clients I work with. Our goal is to be thought leaders. Our goal is to be experts, and our goal is to grow our business just because social media is a thing that we can do that's free. So within social media for business, I kind of take 5 key elements that we're focused on. Number 1 is the target audience. Number 2 is our consistency. Number 3 is the valuable information. 4 is the creative, and 5 is the copy, which I think I've gone over those guys with you before, but we'll do it again. So kind of going through these 5 key elements. The target audience. When we're talking about our target audience, we want to make it really, really specific. The target audience is the person that you're trying to attract. So if right now your goal is to get more listings, then you should only be talking about sellers. You should only be talking about listings. You should only be talking about how much things are selling for, not how to, buy your first house or all of that kind of stuff. If you're newer and you're trying to get buyers, then same thing. You should never talk about listings and what home price values are. You should be talking about how to buy your first house. What are those tips? What are those steps? What are some things that you've never considered about buying a house because you've never done it before? So just kind of keeping that messaging consistent based on what your goals are does really, really good. I said consistent here because the more you do it, the more often you're going to get those people that kind of think about you and recommend you, and that's what you're known for. So every time I say this, it's like, it's easy for me to say, really hard for me to do. I'm really bad about this, but anytime that we basically narrow our focus into one really specific thing or group or whatever, it works significantly better.
And it focus on expands, right?
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. Should just write it in here. What you focus on expands. But yeah, it's you need to be known for just one specific thing. If they're like, oh yeah, she's a realtor, it's fine. But like, oh, that's the luxury listing realtor in Lake Norman. Well, you're gonna, if all of your messaging is around that because that's what you want, you're gonna quickly be known in that community because the luxury listings are all probably people that hang out with each other. So the more you can talk about and to that specific thing, the better. The last one is clear. When we're doing marketing, we generally like to be clever. It's really fun to have like really clever messaging. I've done that before. The problem is it doesn't work. So it's way better to be clear than clever. And so clear means instead of kind of going in a roundabout way of saying things, it's just saying it very simply. So the general population can read and understand on a 3rd to 5th grade level. Keep it at a 3rd to 5th grade level. We don't need to have these big vivacious words. If we just said big clear words, it sounds a little better and we understand it. There's this study out there where it talks about the human brain can process a certain, like when you're trying to understand things, you can only process a certain amount of stuff. When you're trying to process information, you burn calories, and us as humans, we want to burn the least amount of calories or brain calories as possible. So if you can make things clear and specific and easy to understand, your client or the person that's understanding it is burning less brain calories. So when they burn less brain calories, they're like, cool, I get that person. I want to do business with them, rather than like, I'm not quite sure I figure out what they're trying to say here. And they're just going to ignore you. if you don't hook them within the first sentence, or you just said something wild and crazy, then yeah, you're gone. When we're talking about video and we're creating video, our whole focus, we know we're going to have a good video if we can hook someone within really like 3 to 6 seconds. If it isn't got your attention, hasn't got your attention, and I know you're going to be watching for longer than 3 to 6 seconds, or I haven't got to my point, it's going to be a bad video. I know it. So that's how bad attention spans are. So here's kind of some examples. Good target audience and bad target audience. So I have my Instagram account, bad target audience. Why? Because I generally am not trying to get more business. So I have a dog towel up here with Gus. Gus is our dog. He is a model. Then I have me doing a podcast with an NFL player, and then I have me playing football in college. None of that has anything to do with marketing. None of it has anything to do with anything that I do. Bad target audience. I'm not speaking to anybody. It was just my Instagram. So if you're not consistent, if someone wanted to hire me, they're like, well, who is this guy? Is he like a podcast person? Is he like a NFL something or other? Does he just like dogs? Does he manufacture this towel? What does he do? So very bad. Bad Ryan. Good Ryan working for Tiff. Everything is for real estate agents. Everything we make is generally education for the real estate professional. Have to.
Personal?
This is my personal, but it's also my business. So I don't have 2 separate ones. I don't have time to manage multiple ones. Everything that's me goes on there. So bad when you're trying to get clients, good if you just want to enjoy it. But yeah, Tiff's or the law firms, Tiff doesn't do anything, but the law firms, yeah, very, very specific, very clear, very targeted, always to the same target audience. Consistency. So when we're talking about consistency, we just talked about target audience. Consistently speaking to the same target audience puts your post in front of that target audience more often. The easy way to understand that is there's an algorithm, the computer gods of Facebook and Google and all that. They basically calculate and see like, who is this for? The more times you do something for some specific group, the more likely they're going to start putting it in front of that group. So when I post something about football, they'll put it in front of football people. When I post something about dog towels, they'll put it in front of dog towels. But if Tiff posts something in front of real estate agents and real estate agents and real estate agents and real estate agents, now who do you think the next post they're going to put it in front of? Real estate agents. So the more consistent you can do that, you're going to basically train the algorithm. We all have heard of, ChatGPT and AI. You're trying to train the AI to understand who you're trying to talk to. And when you can train them, they're going to basically do the work for you, which is A-okay. Consistency with the messaging. So your messaging is the things that you're saying. The more consistent you can be and say the same thing within that messaging, the better. It's basically the same as like when you guys go and talk to somebody and you're like, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Great. If you consistently say I'm a real estate agent, they're going to remember you're a real estate agent. But if you don't say it very often, they're going to forget, to be honest. I mean, they get their own lives. And then posting frequency. So this is a big question I get all the time. How many times should I post? My answer generally is, how often can you say your valuable information and keep someone engaged? If you can only do that once a week, once a month, that's it. Generally, the more often you can provide value and keep it engaging, the better. But sometimes we're just not valuable, we're not engaging. So if you're not valuable and engaging, you shouldn't be posting it. If you are, post more often. There's not a set stone of like, you have to do it 4 times a day, 37 times a week. I don't. Do it so that it's engaging. Here's the definition of consistency for us. I just changed this morning because the numbers are cooler. This is our YouTube channel for the law firm. On Wednesday, January 15th, 2020, we had 1 subscriber. That was our first ever video. That's when we launched the channel. As of this morning, probably right now, we're at 30,100 subscribers. That took 4 years of posting a lot consistently. So as you can see too, like on this little graph here, you can see like there's nothing. This is all the way into 2022 when we basically have no subscribers. 2 years of posting and nothing. And I say nothing, it's probably at like 1,000 there. But it took all the way until basically October of last year when we had something really take off for us to grow. So October 30, 35th, 30, 29th, somewhere in that world, we hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube of last year. On, it was May 15th or so, we hit 25,000 subscribers this year. So in a very short period of time, we grew 15,000 subscribers. And it was just consistency.
How much business have you gotten off that?
Enough.
But you do definitely get business.
Yeah. We have had 4 calls this week from somebody saying, hey, I saw Tiff's YouTube video, ... I've had 6 website emails, same thing. She got a commercial closing because another attorney's office in Fort Mill, or Lake Wylie, I guess that's Fort Mill, said, hey, yeah, you're doing a business sale up at the lake, like that's the attorney. Tiff has no idea who this person is, but they knew that we, because they follow the channel. So, yeah, enough.
Was there one that specifically brought up the spike?
Yes.
One video?
Yeah, so this video right here, that did this, we gained 840 subscribers in one day. Why? I don't know. I didn't do anything different. The video, it's title versus deed. That's the title. It's a 4-minute and 58-second video. It was posted 2 years before that. So it's not like that video was posted that day. It was posted almost 2 years before. And just all of a sudden, it went. I was getting 100,000 views a day for like 7 days. And then after that, everything worked. It didn't matter. I could post a picture of anything. Views, great, awesome. But it took the consistency of having that in the backlog 2 years ago to say, oh, now we're going to put it in the algorithm because we finally realized you're talking about titles and deeds and real estate professionals and whatever. Now we tried a side quest. It did not work. Sorry, love your real estate agents. You do not do well on my YouTube channel. I will not be interviewing any more of you. Sorry. So here's another one. This is the month of May. So this is last month's numbers. We had 3.1 million views last month on the channel. We're not YouTubers. We're trying to get people calling us and giving us business and helping real estate agents, because generally if we help you guys and you can send one of these videos to your client, they're gonna be like, that's probably a good attorney. Yeah, we'll use them to close. That's generally what the thought is. Now we're making money. I mean, I blurred out the estimated revenue on this. I think we've made like $8,000 to $10,000 off of posting YouTube videos. Like YouTube pays us to do it. So like the ads that are ran on it, the money comes with us. Now we just turn around and, you know, that's how I pay people to help edit and whatnot. But it's not like we're getting rich off of it. But hey, if we get an extra $10,000, we have another office coming and that's going to pay my rent to the office. Tons of views, but once again, it's consistency. So like this is the views over the last year. You can see nothing. All of a sudden, 3 million views in a month. Consistency. You know, it's not like anything crazy happened. We just were able to do the same thing over and over again. Valuable information. So I'm big on value. I don't like putting out the videos just to get views. I'm putting out videos that I know our target audience wants or needs. So for us, it's education. Like my wife is a lawyer. I do marketing. It's things that people want to know information about. And since they want to know things about it, we put out the education on it. Same thing with you guys. You should be putting out educational information on how to buy a house, how to sell a house, all the questions you guys get asked all the time. We should be putting out educational videos on it. Entertainment is another type of value. That is something that I generally don't promote because I work with business owners. Yes, you can put out entertaining videos. That's great. Does it convert to business? I don't personally think as much as education. Are you going to get a bigger following? Absolutely. So if you want to be someone with, 100,000 Instagram followers, entertain. Go dance in front of your houses and and run through them as fast as you can and do the world's quickest tour and all that fun stuff, and you're going to get views. Will it convert to business? Maybe, but I'd rather be the educational person where they're like, cool, they're smart, they're good, I know them, awesome. And then picking the right topics. I know I've talked to you guys about this before. Just generally what I've seen work right now is a few different things. For us on YouTube, it's 2 to 5 minute educational videos. So if you are typing in a specific question on YouTube, I'm going to make a video about that. What is the due diligence fee in North Carolina? I'm going to have a 2 to 5 minute, straight to the point, no BS video right on that. I'm not going to, because that's not me. But I'm going to make somebody that's smarter than me record that. Same thing for you guys' stuff. So if someone's typing in like, what is the #1 home renovation thing to sell my house for more? Like, I'd probably be making videos on that. You know, there's questions about it. And then the other thing is what you guys are getting asked, emails, when you're in conversations. People are asking it for a reason because they don't know it. We should probably be making videos or content. It doesn't have to be videos about it. But the other things we see is hijacking. So, you know, it's the easy way to say it is like hijacking authority. So celebrities in the area or people with name recognition, you can hijack them and react to whatever they say or do. I think we saw it with the Christian McCaffrey house sale. Well, great. We know who he is. We're going to list it or share it, and people are going to want to pay attention because it's Christian McCaffrey's house, but you're the one that's sharing it. We do it with like Tiff reacting to a Dave Ramsey video. Well, most people know Dave Ramsey, most people don't know Tiff. So if she sees a Dave Ramsey video and gives her opinion on what he says, well, she's going to get more people wanting because they have that name recognition. So that's a way you can do it. And then also like location hijacking. And this is what I have seen work really well for real estate agents. Craig LePage Johnson, he started a YouTube channel basically doing this, and it's worked very well for him. But he just goes and like tours different areas in Lake Norman and talks about it. It's not like he does anything wild. He just, I think he flies a drone. He kind of walks through with like a simple camera, and it's not professionally edited shot. It's just done. And the thing is, done's better than perfect most of the time. So you can hijack these areas that you know are really popular. Birkdale Village, best restaurant. And then walk through Birkdale Village, talk about the houses that are in the area and, you know, your favorite restaurant in there. What's the 3 best restaurants on Lake Norman while boating, or that you can get to from a boat. You make a video about it. And then, I mean, I'm saying restaurants because it's easy. We're hijacking the restaurant names, but also the neighborhoods. You know, the 3 top neighborhood, or the 3 most expensive house or neighborhoods in Mooresville. People are wanting to look for it. You know, they want to see it. So take those ideas of those areas and kind of hijack that. And then the last thing for topics or picking the right topics is trending and in the news. We had the NAR video that Tiff did had 86,000 views. We were looking at it this morning. That's why I know the number. Well, why? One, she's an attorney giving the opinion on something that's very trending and in the news for what agents are, but also we did it within 2 days of that coming out. So we just hijacked a trending topic and said, well, if it's in the news and people are nervous about it that are in my target audience, let's just make a video. It did good. So same thing for you guys, like things that are in the news for your area. I know like for us, we have, we don't want to talk about it, but it's in the news. We have coal ash that comes up every now and then. So if you talked about what that means and what it does for house prices and how it may affect you and give your opinion, that's something that could get you a lot of views. And if you're the real estate agent expert that knows about coal ash, someone that's in that area or wanting to buy those houses, we know those are expensive houses. You're probably going to do just fine with one of those people that are a buyer or seller. And just generally anything in real estate or in your area that's trending. If it's in the news, you talk about it, you're probably going to do just fine. But those are really the main things. So I took a couple posts here when I made this of what's valuable content and what's not. So on the left, this was some agent. I don't know. I was just scrolling on Instagram. This was their post. Selling your house without an agent is like ordering a margarita without tequila. It's just not as potent. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Does that do anything to move somebody a little bit further to being a client of yours? Absolutely not. Keeping Current Matters, they post a ton of valuable information. I mean, they just do these little graphics, and this one's reasons for purchasing a multi-generational home, but take some of their ideas and thoughts and make it your own. Like, just take this graphic, make the same thing, and put your own colors on it. Great, you did it. Now it's you, and you can give your thoughts and opinions on what that is. You can also take that post and then put like your little green screen talking head over it, and you can react and say, what does that mean? So like there's a ton of ways you can hijack this valuable content that other people are doing, but also it just proves to you like, hey, let's do one and not the other. This is the difference between being clear and being clever. The creative, we've talked about this before. This is the video, or I say video because it's what we mostly do, but it's the imagery. So it's when you're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, there's something that makes you stop scrolling. It's usually the look of it. Well, what makes you stop? It could be a beautiful house. It could be because Barbara's sitting on the couch in her matching coordinated outfit talking and it looks nice. Like, you know, there's things that make you stop scrolling, and that's your clients are doing the same thing. So if it looks like everybody else's feed, they're not going to stop scrolling. So how can you make yours stand out? We usually say quality, could be audio, could be bright colors. It could be something that's like wild and crazy. Like if you start with your face like right in the camera and then back up, well, you don't scroll and usually see somebody's face like super close. So there's all these little like tricks or things that you can do to basically stand out. And we were talking about earlier, like the first 3 to 6 seconds, that's all you got to do to stop someone from scrolling. So that's the big thing. Like I said, quality, like higher quality is generally more scroll stopping. You're more likely to stop if it's a little more effort put into it rather than like you didn't wipe off your camera lens and it's blurry and you're shooting on a Nokia BlackBerry something or other from 87. So yeah, that's this one. You can see it's scroll stopping right in the beginning. We've got percentages for agents. You guys would stop scrolling on that because you're like, hold on, you're talking about my money. I need to see that. Stop. So this is a short, like this is what, 20 seconds maybe. But that first beginning talking about commissions, you guys are stopping for sure. And I know that because within a day, I had 28.4 thousand views. So I knew you guys were interested. This is from a presentation like this where it's just a boring talking camera. Like I set it on a tripod and I was just walking around hanging out. But we're like, well, how can we make that scroll stopping? Because if it was just this with nothing else, it's not scroll stopping. But yeah, this is, you know, the example of what's scroll stopping, what stops somebody from scrolling and why. And the results showed. It's got 414 likes, 67 comments, 578 shares. It has more shares than it has likes. You guys can do the same exact thing though. The copy, I'm going to give you two kind of formulas. Copy is the written words or the words that you're saying. I have put a huge emphasis on the last year on copywriting. I think it's one of the most underutilized tools you can use in marketing and messaging. The better you are with words, the better you are with communicating, you're going to make a whole lot more money. I mean, it just is what it is. So I use two formulas a lot of times. If I'm doing educational, I'm going to use the PCSB. This is problem, cause, solution, benefit. The general gist is you start with the problem that your client has. So the problem could be you want to sell your house for top dollar, but you don't know what updates you should do before you list it. There's a problem, right? You guys, I'm sure, have that all the time. The cause of that is the next thing you would go into. Well, that's because you want to make sure when you sell your house, you get the most money and you're willing to put in a little bit of work to get it there, right? You know, it's probably something you guys say or hear. The solution to that for you guys, it could be like, well, we found that for the lowest amount of cost and effort to get the maximum return is actually painting your front door. A bright colored front door gets you a ton of curb appeal and it makes it more inviting to come in. There's a solution. You just solve their problem, right? and then the benefit to them. So for just a couple $100, you can get your front door painted and probably get another $1,000 or maybe even $2,000 out of your house. There's the benefit to them, not to you. You sound like the expert. They're the hero, you're the expert. You just solved a huge problem. You made them money, put it in their pocket for not doing much. And so if you can do that over and over again with educational content, why would they not hire you? Why would they not want to work with you? Same thing, you can do this with like your houses. If you've got a house that's sitting there and won't sell, like do the same thing. You're looking for a 4-bedroom house because your family's growing. Well, this house right here solves the problem. It's 4 bedrooms. Now it might need a little bit of work. It might need a, updated paint color, but that's easy. And my clients are willing to do that. So now you can get the 4-bedroom house you need for your growing family and also get a fresh coat of paint when you buy it. Simple, like you're solving their problems over and over again. And you're doing it in an educational way. You're teaching, but it's not like teaching from school. The other one we use whenever we're doing storytelling. So storytelling has been used for thousands of years. It works really well. I would do this for client testimonials over and over and over again because it's really hard to get your clients to say good things, but you guys can tell the story way better than them. And that's the so but formula with increasing stakes. So you know how like we've got a 2-year-old, she doesn't do this yet, but when she goes to the park, she'll be like, I went to the park and I went down the slide and I went on the swings and I played in the mulch, and it's always ant. But if we change this to so but, I went to the park, but I didn't know what I wanted to play on. So I walked over to the slide first, but it was really high and I got kind of nervous to go up the slide. So I walked over to the swings, but the swings only had the child swing and I wanted to get on the big girl swing. So I went back over to the slide and I found a different slide that was a little lower, but I didn't want to go down that one because it'd be real slow. You see where I'm going with this? Like so but. And if you increase the stakes where you make it more important each time, then you're going to have a really interesting story because then you'll have an outcome. So at the very end, I got up enough courage and I went down the big slide and I had the time of my life and I really enjoyed going to the park. That's with a 2-year-old. You guys can do that about houses over and over again. That's the easiest thing you could do. So we'll do an example of that. Here is a YouTube video of someone using kind of that storytelling. And this has nothing to do with houses, but this girl's like massive. And she does such a good job with storytelling, and she doesn't use so but it's the same formula. There's increasing stakes and there's an outcome at the end. So this girl does a really, really good job.
I'm surprising my family with their favorite lost things. But they don't know I've been stealing their stuff for the past year, so it wasn't exactly lost.
But so
My mom's favorite cookbook. You'll see it back in 4 months during Christmas. But they're starting to notice their prized possessions are missing.
You had that book.
No, I don't!
And then I look at my camera.
And I also stole gift boxes and wrapping paper so I can give them back these items for Christmas. And I did this all so I can give them the best gift with $0.
Este era mi vaso.
I love this hoodie. So fun.
I've been looking for these things for a week.
I was running everywhere for this book in the last 6 months. I was looking all over the house.
So she, if you're paying attention, you've heard her say so but multiple times to that. So she just increased and moved the story along by using that formula, and the stakes got more and more like, oh, mom needs the book, mom's calling people, and by the end, here's the book, and everyone lives happily ever after. So you can use this in your social media, your content, telling the story of your client, and we'll do an example here. So if we use a first-time home buyer, and we'll use that as our so but formula. If we're using a first-time home buyer, what's one of their, why are they buying their first house now, or what are they looking for? Tired of renting. Cool. We'll use that one. Bill called me last week because he wanted to buy his first house and he was tired of renting, but he didn't know where to start. So he called me first. But the problem with calling me first is we didn't know what he would qualify for. So we called a lender. But the lender needed to get all these verifications first to figure out what he's qualified for getting the pre-approval. So once we got the pre-approval back, we started looking for houses. But none of the houses that were in his budget really like made sense. They were kind of crappy. So we looked into his finances and figured out that we could pay off his car and get him qualified for way more. But then it would hurt his down payment, right? So when we were looking for houses, we started asking for seller credits. See where I'm going with this? I'm sure you guys have a lot of stories that can fit into that if you use the right formula. And that's a way more engaging story because there's other people that are just like, I can't remember the guy's name. I said Bill. Sure, we'll go with Bill. That are just like him. And they want to follow a story that's taking them from point A to point B of where they want to get to. So that's the one. I can do an educational story or an educational video example if we would like for me to use the problem, cause, solution, benefit formula. If anybody has a question or issue or a problem that a client's had within the past week or so that someone's asked you guys, we can write copy on it quick. Questions that your client has asked recently. A client, anybody? Everyone's just got the perfect clients. They don't even ask questions.
What if my home doesn't appraise?
What if my home doesn't appraise? Perfect. You're under contract for a house and there's one last step that you need to get to make sure you qualify for the loan, and that's the appraisal. So there's our problem. So what if your home doesn't appraise? Well, that would be because, you know, your house is actually overpriced. You're willing to pay it, but it's overpriced based on what the actual appraisal comes back as. So what happens? Well, the solution to that is, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways. We can lower the listing price. We can ask for credits. We can just go ahead and close on it if you're so excited. We were seeing that in 2020 all the time. So there's your solution. And you know, so now when you go under contract and you're waiting to get that final thing, just remember that the appraisal is the very last thing before we can get to the closing table to make sure it appraises correctly. So you get your lending, you can get the right value for your money and get to closing. Something like that. That's education. Like people don't know that. They have no idea. They're like, once I'm under contract, we're good. It's like, you know, there's a lot of things that happen. That's kind of that example for education. I use both of them all the time. If we do education in the law firm, it's like 99% that style. Last thing, I mean, you guys all know us. Follow us, YouTube, Real Estate Lawyer. Podcast is a real estate show. We're probably going to be doing less podcasts. It just doesn't do as much as like YouTube crushes for us, so I just put more effort into it. Instagram's a lot the like. Newsletter, you probably are all on it. That's me writing it. Sometimes I get Tiff too. I do coaching, and then if you have contracts and want to close at thomasweber.com.